Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Squirrel to Success. So this is a brand new YouTube channel. I wanted to create this channel just to hopefully inspire some people, whether it's one person, whether it's 10 people. I just felt like this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I haven't seen too many channels that kind of go that kind of give you like a real life scenario of who people are, how people become successful, and just the rawness of it. These videos, kind of my goal here is to make them uncut, unfiltered, and I think I'm gonna fast forward through some stuff, but for this first video, I just kind of want to explain a little bit about who I am, and whether you ever watch this or not, doesn't matter to me. This is just to give you kind of a quick background of where I've came from, where I started from, and kind of how I got to where I'm at as far as where I'm at in real estate. I own a real estate business currently. I'm a partner in a title company. I own multiple properties and land as well. So, that's kind of just the very basic of things, and just want to kind of start from the very get-go. You don't have to watch this. This may not catch your attention, but hopefully it does. I try to stay charismatic as I can. I'm like I said, I'm not clipping this in, sitting behind some fancy desk with items all on the walls where you can stare at it. Right now I'm in my condo, if you will, and I am making a Tostino's pizza, which I will be sticking that in the oven here in a second. So again, this is going to be very raw, uncut, day-to-day life as a real estate agent, as a jewelry owner, as a dad, as a husband that is currently separated but going through some stuff right now, so we're trying to figure that out as well. That's came from a good Christian background with my parents, and I'm just going to kind of dive into this. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I don't have a script. I haven't really thought this out a whole lot, other than I just want to see if I can help somebody kind of get through their life and maybe make somebody's life a little bit better, and kind of give hope to some people. So just from the get-go, from the very beginning, naturally, I'm going to start from where I was born to where I'm at. Hopefully I can keep this video with under 30 minutes. I totally don't expect anybody to watch this entire video, but maybe if I can keep it entertaining a little bit, maybe you will. So I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. Currently living in Pensacola, Florida, at this beautiful scenery out here. This is my view at the moment. And at 2 years old, we moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Dothan, Alabama. My dad worked at the Coca-Cola factory, got a better job in Dothan, a very small town. Look it up. You've probably traveled through Dothan, Alabama, going through Panama City. That is where my spring breaks were. That's where I had a great time. That's where I got in a lot of trouble. That's where my parents didn't know a lot of things, and maybe they will now. So anyway, my pizza's ready. So let's see if we can get this cooked. You know what? We're going to wait a second on that. But again, I said it's going to be raw and unclipped, so maybe I'll clip this out, maybe I won't. Anyway, so moved to Dothan, Alabama when I was 2 years old. My parents still live in Dothan, Alabama, so that is where I call hometown. Go back and forth from there to here. It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive, which is not bad at all. Growing up was fantastic. I had great Christian parents that are still together, raised in a church, played all types of sports. My dad coached me through a lot of them. Hopefully y'all can hear this too, so I don't have a mic or any of that fanciness yet. But anyway, I might get one at some point. Again, squirrel to success. I squirrel all over the place. I have ADHD, ADD. I don't know, hadn't been diagnosed, don't really care. So I'm probably going to bounce around to stuff. Maybe that keeps your attention too. So anyway, I grew up from a great background, had great parents, never knew them to be drinkers, never smoked. I was baptized at the age of 10. And I'm going to kind of fast forward through stuff that's not really that important, but I played baseball, soccer, basketball, football, all the things. I'm going to shoot straight to kind of my college life, if you will. I went to, mom and dad wanted me to get scholarships. So we did all the scholarship stuff to help pay for schooling, because school was expensive, right? Grew up middle to high class, if you will. We were not in the lower income level. I wouldn't say we're in the high income level, but grew up very comfortable, if you will. We went on vacations. Mom and dad always did stuff with us. They were amazing parents, loved them dearly. So mom and dad, thank you. I will plug y'all. Y'all are awesome. They've always backed me no matter what, through all the crazy crap I've done, through all my roller coasters of a ride of life, if you will. I think everybody's been through it. So anyway, went to a junior college at Wallace Community College, had a scholarship there. So I went there for, I don't know, a year and a half, and decided to go to Auburn. Got a scholarship to Auburn as well for academics through First Baptist Church in Dothan, I think. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Mom and dad can correct me when they see this. But anyway, got a scholarship to Auburn, and I lost the scholarship within the first semester, first semester. I'm going to blame that on the hard classes, right? They were very difficult. So I decided to get straight into engineering, took all my basic classes at Wallace Community College, and went to Auburn. True story is I probably partied too much, so let's not blame it on the academics, because I'm pretty intelligent. I think I am anyway. Maybe not book smart, but I'm pretty good at just day-to-day life figuring out crap. Anyway, lost my scholarship, about got brought back home. Mom and dad wasn't too happy with me. Fast forward through college, did a internship as an engineer in Orlando, Florida with a company there. I'm not gonna drop names, I don't think it's that important. But after I did my internship there, I decided engineering was not for this guy, right? So I decided that accounting was better. Who goes from engineering to accounting? This guy did. So by the way, I don't think I even introduced myself, but my name is Justin Creel with, currently I'm working for Keller Williams Realty via the Creel Group, hence Squirrel to Success. I'm squirreling, right? Didn't even introduce myself. I am 42 years old. So there you go. Justin Creel, 42 years old, living in Pensacola, Florida. Run a $40 million real estate team again, and have some investments and all that good stuff. So back to where we're at. Where was I? So anyway, Auburn University, went from engineering. I decided the internship was not for me at all. Wasn't my thing. Classes were too hard. Let's just blame it on the classes, right? So I was in Physics 1, Physics 2, and had to do all kind of math. Well, I didn't like it, and it was too much, too hard. I didn't want to do that, and then I was having too much fun partying. So let's just say I had a career in college, like some of y'all probably did if you made it through college. I don't even think you really need college 1,000%. I'm going to say that. So to all you parents out there that bash me for this, I'm sorry. But am I going to try to get my kids to go to school? Of course I am. But anyway, so I went from engineering to accounting. I graduated as an accountant in accountancy and a minor in finance. Nailed a job right out of college. It was a job. I had no idea. I was super pumped. Got me a job. I'm gonna go out here in the real world, make me some money. And I think I was making $33,000 back in, when did I graduate? 2006. Okay, so we're in 2025. I mean, wasn't bad money, right? But wasn't great money. And I didn't know what great money was. I was just out here living life thinking I was balling, right? You come straight out of college, you think you know everything. Long story short, wasn't too keen on the CPA firm life, if you will, doing taxes and audits and all the good stuff, excuse me. But it was, I think, what has built me to be who I am today. Ended up, after being there for, 3 years, I think is what it was, 2.5, 3 years, stopped caring. Let's just be real. Tired of working there, didn't want to be there, didn't enjoy my job anymore. I ended up getting married around that time frame as well while I was at that job, and ended up getting a divorce. So my first marriage failed. That was probably more of a depression thing at that time that I didn't really realize was what I was going through. But got married, no kids, got a divorce, stopped caring about my job, lost my job. I got fired, and kind of needed to make ends meet. So what I ended up doing is I ended up working for a gas station from a young lady that I was dating or dated at one point in time. She was gracious enough. Her dad gave me a job there, so I worked at a gas station. Also did landscaping. Actually worked for a landscaping company that was one of my clients at the accounting firm. So again, thank you for those jobs to you too if y'all ever watch these videos. But I do greatly appreciate that, because if I didn't have those, may not be where I'm at, and I wouldn't have been there as long as I was. So those were 2 jobs that I had to make ends meet. I worked for a bar, and I worked for a as well doing accounting work. So I did payroll for one of the local bars in Auburn, Alabama. And so I had 3 jobs. I lost a job, got 3 jobs. I've never been one to just sit around not doing anything. And crazy enough, I worked 3 jobs and blew all my money about as quick as I made it, like probably some of y'all do. You know, I'm still not 1,000% in line with my money, but I'm still working on things as I'm growing to a more mature adult and getting maybe wiser in life. So had those 3 jobs and blew all my money. Mom and Dad was like, you know, if you ever want to come home, you can. You know, every kid wants to hear that at however old I was at the time, 23, 24, 25, I don't know, somewhere in that range. And long story short, I probably had like $100 to my name, working 3 jobs, and wasn't too keen on that, and decided that my best option was to move back home. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for allowing me to move back home. They also graciously covered some of my bills while I was trying to make ends meet, finding a job in Dothan, Alabama. So I moved back home after going to school, after having a good job, after having a good marriage to a failed marriage, to 3 jobs, to not spending my money wisely, partying, let's just call it what it is, right? Let's not sugarcoat stuff. Partied too much, drank too much, did too many things, and moved back home. So moved back home, got a job there, making $11.22 for all you math people out there. Wasn't good money, and I wasn't too happy about it, but this guy needed some money, right? So I did what I did. Worked there, lived with Mom and Dad. Thank you, Mom and Dad, again for letting me come back home, because I'm sure y'all were graciously excited to have your oldest son back home. Anyway, and I'm just kidding. I know you enjoyed me being home. So thank y'all for that. But I was making $11.22. Hated it, right? It was a job. I was good at it. It wasn't that hard, and I was bored most days. It didn't really make my brain tick. I like my brain to tick a little bit, right? So my brain wasn't ticking like I wanted to. Let me just point this out here. Look at that. See, squirrel to success. I'm gonna show y'all things throughout this video. Keep it right. All right, and I still need to put this pizza in. I'm trying to figure out how to do that and record, because I don't have any fancy gear yet. Okay, so let's get back to topic. Where was I? So anyway, moved back home, making $11.22. Was there for, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months. Great people, enjoyed working there. Y'all know who you are. Thank y'all so much. Good people, right? And so I started looking for a job 9-10 months in it, found a job in Pensacola, Florida, which is currently where I'm at. Ignore that. See me squirreling? Look at that. See that crack back there? I got to fix it above my head. Where's it at? Right there. Look like my ceiling's coming down. Anyhow, got to fix that. So was at this company for 9 to 10 months. And I was ready to move. So I found me a job making 20 grand more a year in Pensacola, Florida, which made ends meet, where I could get me an apartment and I could have my own place and all that good stuff. So my dad was kind enough to come to Pensacola with me, and we drove around and looked at apartments, and some of them were absolutely horrible. So if you've ever been to Pensacola, Florida, and if you need a good realtor, your guy's right here, right? I'm a realtor. So you can call me. I'll help you find a spot that fits where you want to be, right? So anyway, some of those places didn't pan out to be where I wanted to be. And so we did find some good spots. Not great, but it was $700 a month, which worked for my budget. I still needed internet. I still needed utility bills to be paid and all that good stuff. So nailed that place down, had my job, drank Natty Light at night, and played Xbox. Anybody relate to that? Some of you probably do, but Natty Light was, 30 packs, pretty cheap. So I'd drink me some Natties and play Xbox, Call of Duty to be exact. And I still have Call of Duty. Yes, that's a dog bed and a TV and a kind of a small entertainment system. But anyway, so let's see. So nailed the job, and let's fast forward a little bit. Got the job, probably day 3 on the job. So we're about to get to my current wife / separation / figuring that out. So we'll get to there. We'll get there later. So this is just an intro, right? So I'm there, and day 3's open enrollment. New guys here, need health insurance, need dental. They had all the cool stuff, right? And I'm like, oh, this is great. Have all these things. And it was a good job. I enjoyed working there. It was a not-for-profit. Again, I'm not going to disclose that, but good people there. Learned a lot of stuff. I still learn a lot of stuff in life, right? So let's just, my thing is, I've had a bunch of different jobs. I worked at Chick-fil-A too. So again, we're squirreling a little bit. But back to that job, day 3, open enrollment. And that particular day, I will never forget, because open enrollment is there. And guess what? There was a young lady that was doing open enrollment. And I walked up the stairs to go to my office I was very uncomfortable and didn't know anybody there, so I'm just walking around like a crazy nervous person, right? Like everybody does in a new job. And there's people there that I've never met. Nobody introduces me to anybody, so I didn't know what to do other than what's my job. So my job, currently I didn't really have a job yet because they hadn't really told me what to do. Other than I need my health insurance and dental and I need to enroll. So I walk up the steps and I look in this office. I didn't really look. I kind of walked past it. And as I'm glancing past that office, there's a blonde woman in there standing up with some black spandex pants on. Well, any man, sorry ladies, but I happened to do a double take. Because I'd never seen her the last 3 days and I wasn't really sure who she was, but I also noticed her and did a double take, and she turned her head and seen me. And guess what? Oh, I bet I turned every shade of red possible. And I zipped onto my office, walking down that hallway like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did this. And so anyway, she caught me. Well, that's my current wife, Miss Jessica. And she has given me the okay to talk about her and kind of go through our life a little bit. So anyway, she caught me staring and glancing, and that wasn't my fault. That was what she was wearing, and I didn't mean to look, but I just looked. So whatever, I apologize. No, I don't apologize, because, yeah, anywho. So I got enrolled by Miss Jessica, and she came in there with the paperwork, with a pen and all this good stuff, and we start chatting, and she started asking me questions and all this, and she says, here's your pen, can you please sign everything? So actually, she went to sign something, and when she signed something, her pen broke and shot me. The spring thing shot out of it, right? There's a spring thing in them pens, and it went poop and shot at me, and she turned every shade of red. And so here we go. I get caught. She gets embarrassed, right? Because she's enrolling me, and I'm the new guy, and I think she might have thought I looked okay. I don't know. Well, clearly I know now. But anyway, so she did that, gets me enrolled, and I go do my job, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm kind of interested in Miss Jessica. And I ain't been there but a week, I think. I don't even know if I've been there a week, maybe 5 days. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know nobody in town. I moved to Pensacola, Florida. I don't have a friend, a soul. I didn't know nobody here. So that was just a nerve-wracking thing for me. Hence all the natty lights, which didn't really help the equation. And we will get to that later. So sent her an email. I didn't have her number. I looked everywhere. I was like, where's this chick's number? Let me see if I can find her. Maybe I can hang out with her, right? Maybe she can show me around town. You know, so I'm trying to figure out all this stuff and couldn't find her number. And I'm like, all right, well, all I got's a work email. Well, guess what? A lot of work emails are monitored. Whoops. So anyway, we'll get to that. I emailed her from her business card, and she didn't respond for like a decade. That's what it felt like. But it was like 3 hours, 3-4 hours. I'm checking my email. I got a brand new email and everything. I don't even know if I used my personal or work one, but I used her work one. And so I sent her a message, and I was like, hey, this is Justin. You just enrolled me over at so-and-so, and I'm new here and I have no idea what I'm doing in this town. I don't know where anything's at. Do you think me and you and your friends could hang out at some point? I would like that if that's okay with you. So I don't know. I just said what I said, right? I didn't know if it sounded good, and I didn't really care. Actually, I didn't really think through it. So let's just state it correctly. I didn't think through it. I just sent a message and hoped she responded. And so I'm sweating bullets half the day. And she finally responds. And what do you think she said? That woman, she laughed at me. She basically said, ha, ha, ha. You want to hang out with me and my friends, whatever. She said that via like email, right? And I'm like, this, okay. I see. She got a personality. At least I know that much. And she shot me with a pen already. So anyway, she responds. And I asked for her number. And she gives me her number. So we went on a date. I don't know when we went on a date. She can probably tell you when we went on a date. Next day, next week, I don't know, a couple days later. History from there. There's a funny story behind that too, but maybe I'll get into that on another video. So history went from there. Jess and I are together. I'm at this business making decent money, and come to find out, she's making better money than me. So guys, guess what I had? A sugar mama. I didn't know it, but I found it. So they're out there. You gotta look. Now, I don't know. I looked a little too hard, so that'll get you in trouble. Don't do that. So anywho, yeah. So did that. Went on the date. Did the thing. Treated her nice. We went to some places, and ended up dating after that, right? And then within a year, when was this? This was met her in March. Was it March or May? March or May. Ooh, she's gonna shoot me. Anyway, I think it was March of 2013. Okay, so we fast forwarded a lot through college. We got to here. She's making good money. I didn't know, and so anyway, she's an insurance agent. So she's in sales. I'm not in sales yet, right? I'm still an accountant working at a not-for-profit, making good money, right? I'm not making bad money. She's making better money. And I get the opportunity after her and I meet, and it's been a little bit of time where, sorry, I'm picking my nose and stuff too. But again, this is raw, so it's going to happen. You either like it or you don't. So I get an opportunity to do medical billing within this not-for-profit because we're a state and federally funded business. And I'm not going to mention names, but anyway, I had that opportunity to do it. And they threw me into this, and they're like, hey, do you want to do medical billing? And I'm like, what is medical billing? And I'm like, well, sure, I'll figure it out, right? Can't be too hard. I'm like, okay, who's going to train me? Oh, well, by the way, the guy that's going to train you, he just quit. I'm like, okay, so who's the backup? Who's gonna teach me how to do this stuff? Well, nobody knows how to do this stuff. What? What do you mean nobody knows? So this is what's going through my head, right? So y'all gonna get a lot of what's in my head. That's what's going through my head. You want me to do medical billing? Like, how much am I making? Well, guess what? It's per, I don't even know the right term. Some of y'all might know these terms. It's like per patient. Does that make sense? Maybe it makes sense. So when you go somewhere and they bill you like millions of dollars for going to the doctor, right? I'm the medical dude sticking in the codes, right? And then you get paid, and I got reimbursed some of it through the grant. That was just part of the grant. So I didn't do anything illegal. So don't be thinking I did something illegal. So I figure it out, right? That's my job in real estate too. Figure things out. Find a solution. Just do it. And I apologize for the lighting. Again, I'm not doing fancy stuff right now. I'm just sitting in the condo, knocking this stuff out. Bad lighting and all. So end up doing the medical billing and making decent money doing that. And I met Jess and ended up seeing a guy on my Facebook, right? So I'm kind of doing this too in a manner of, kind of letting you know, like, everything's possible in life. And so kind of where I'm going with this is, I think some of y'all, a lot of y'all have jobs that you hate, right? I never enjoyed all of my jobs. They were jobs. They were careers worth living. But it wasn't a legacy that I wanted to leave to my kids, and I couldn't have left anything to them. You know what I mean? And I didn't really enjoy it that much, but it worked. It worked. I went to work, made the money, got a paycheck, spent it on natty lights and dates and stuff, right? So anyway, Jess and I met in 2013. We bought our first house in not too long after that, but we ended up getting married in 2014. So within a year later, we got married, and within a year later, we had a child, my first kid, right? You'll probably meet him tomorrow. So this is going to be kind of a biography of the day in the life of a realtor, of an entrepreneur, of someone that hopefully you can relate to, and maybe not do all the same things I did, but I just want you to know, like, some of the stupid stuff that I did when I got through. Stay positive. Don't think you can't. Just keep moving forward. We've all been through this COVID crap and real estate and interest rates and politics, so I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritty and argue with anybody on that. And I'm pretty sure at some point in time, you'll be able to figure out what party I believe in and what I don't, so whatever. You watch me or you don't watch me. So anyway, that's a little bit of that story, you know. So I met her in 13, got married in 14, hit it off, had a kid. You know, I got 3 kids now. So I got 3 beautiful kids, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old, Aiden, Evelyn, and Elise. And they're in order of chronological. So Aiden is my oldest, Evelyn's my middle, and Elise is my youngest. And they're very beautiful kids, and they're all amazing. They have all their toes and fingers and stuff. And I just adore them, and they're little blondes, right? So kind of like me, but I'm kind of dark-headed and a little bit of gray now, you know. So that's that. Just throwing that out there, you know. And let's back up a little bit. Let's get to some of the. Okay, so that's up until Jess and I got married and had kids, right? And she was making more than me, and then we'll kind of, you know, let's dive into, you know. So I went through a divorce years ago, and that kind of didn't sit well with me, so I got in trouble, and I ended up getting a DUI. Sorry, Mom, this is going to be on social media, whatever. You can look it up anyway. It's public, right? I think it's public, but it is public now. So I got a DUI back in 2011. Not proud of that. It was a stupid situation. It was in college. It was me dating a young lady and made bad decisions, right? And got in trouble, is what it is. So that's done and over with. That was some negative things that happened in my life, and I had to deal with that, and hired my own attorney to get me through that and keep me from being in jail longer than I was. I think I was in jail for like 24 hours or something before they bonded me out or whatever, however that worked. Very embarrassing. But, you know, stupid crap happens. So I'm not perfect. And some of y'all gonna see this and be like, oh, I never do that about you. Well, now you do. You know, so, you know, this is kind of what I want this to be about. I want this to be about someone that per se has made it, but still going through stuff, still figuring out life, still going through trials and errors, and, you know, trying to figure out where God wants me to be, right? I'm not perfect. There's plenty of things God's going to shame me for, and I'm going to get, not shame me for, but, you know, when I get called to him, he's going to, pull out the drawer full. It's going to go from the water way down there to here. You know, that's the kind of stuff he's going to read to me. So I'm not, you know, excited about that, but whatever. So anyhow, so went through that, dealt with that back in 2011. So naturally, you're never going to forget that. October of 2011, right? So I know the date. Okay, so we're going to fast forward back. Squirreling. Okay, that's the name of this channel. So now Jess and I are married. We have a baby. I'm still doing my thing at the company. Jess is a successful salesperson, probably making 6 figures or more. And, you know, she makes a decision to open her own business, and I make a decision. I might be fast forwarding a little bit. What started first? Anyway, a buddy of mine on Facebook was a realtor. All right, so let's lean into this real quick. I'm going somewhere with this, so y'all hang in there. So I'm a realtor, right? So he was a realtor. I was an accountant. I didn't know what a realtor was. I didn't know how this stuff worked. I thought it was easy. I'm gonna make a bunch of money and get me a fancy car, and people were gonna be nice to me, and I'm gonna sell them a pretty house like HGTV, and you're gonna love me. We're gonna look at 3 to 5 houses, and we're going to close in like 2.5 days, right? We ain't going to do no inspections. The house is going to be fully furnished by the time the show starts over. Anyway, HGTV, don't be watching that stuff. It's crazy. They don't show all the fun stuff that we deal with. I'm going to try to be nice. So anywho, we're going to get through. Hey, you're going to get to see some of that, because here's what I'm doing. I'm going to show y'all waking up in the morning, the laziness I am some days, the stuff I do, and hopefully y'all can learn something. Maybe you figure out something. Maybe you realize I'm a normal person like everybody else, which, you know, also what aggravates me is all this stuff on Facebook. All y'all post all y'all's warm and fuzzy stuff. So I'm here to kind of go through the negative stuff that we go through in life too, to show you that everybody's not just all warm and fuzzy. And by the time you see some of the negative stuff, it's like already too late. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my gosh, she was dealing with that. What? He did who? What to her? Girl, why was you with him? Anyway, you know, so people ain't perfect. Don't act like people are perfect. So anyway, you're going to be the life of Justin Krill, or the family, or real estate. And hopefully I can give y'all some tidbits along the way, and pointers and things not to do and things to do. So if you watch my channel, thank you. I appreciate it. And maybe if you get through 30 minutes of this video, I'm probably going to have another 30. So if you ain't got time to watch all this, don't watch it. Just skim it. Yeah, I'm already out of breath. By the way, I went to the gym. see I'm squirreling again. I got my gym clothes on and whatnot, trying to look okay, trying to be healthy. So we'll go through that too. All right, so let's get back to reality here. Buddy of mine on Facebook was very successful, doing very good at real estate, and God bless his soul. He's no longer with us, but good fella. Enjoyed knowing him while he was with us. Something very drastic happened and not expected and whatnot. Anyway, I'm not going to mention names or any of that stuff, but good dude. Paid off his vehicle, paid off his student loans, and I'm following him on Facebook, and I'm like, man, what does he do? How did he pay off his loans? How has he got his car paid off and all this stuff? Because I got a new truck. I got $27,000 in student loans. Me and my wife, got a credit card debt of, I don't know, 15 grand. And I'm just like, man, what's he doing? And I find out he's in real estate. I'm like, okay, real estate. My mom, thank you, Mom. Mom always used to say, you'd be a good salesman. And I was always a good salesman in school. I won a limo ride to a barbecue house. That was probably the dumbest thing to get a limo ride in, was to a Dobbs barbecue in Dothan, Alabama. Some of y'all probably remember that. But anyway, I went to Dobbs barbecue in a limo, but nobody can say they went to a barbecue joint in a limo. So anyway, salesman, won it, invited some buddies with me to go get some barbecue in a limo. So I was always good at sales. I got a decent personality, I think. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. It's okay. You can have your opinion of me. And so I decided to get in real estate. I was an accountant, and what I ended up doing was I took my real estate license, took my exam. I didn't have to go to anywhere. You still don't. Take that mess online, right? Take it online, do what you need to do, and pass it. Just take it, get through it, and make ends meet, right? So I did that. I took my exam, got through everything, took my final, got through it with a little bit of help, and so nailed it. And now I'm a licensed realtor. Now what do I do? Hell, I don't know. You tell me. You get your license. Don't nobody tell you what to do after you get it. So I'm like, hey, I passed. Now what? That's what goes through my head. Now what? I don't know what. So I'm like, what do I do now? How do I join a brokerage? Like, what is a broker? I'm supposed to interview brokers? I thought I just sold houses after this. Wellness. I don't know about other states. I'm in the state of Florida, and I have an Alabama license as well. So in the state of Florida, you got to be a licensed sales associate, not a broker, for 2 years before you can be a broker, right? I'm still not a broker. I don't need to be a broker, but I could be a broker if I wanted to. I just don't want to take any more tests, right? I hate school. No, I don't hate school. I love school. Y'all stay in school. Be good. So anyway, didn't want to take a test. You got to have 2 years to be a sales associate. So I'm like, okay, where do I join? I don't know. Well, guess what? My wife is a health insurance agent. Well, guess what she happens to be? A health insurance agent for a broker in town. So she says, oh, this guy, you should go check him out. They give leads and this and that, and maybe you can make something happen there. I'm like, cool. So I interviewed like 3 brokerages and ended up joining that broker that she told me to join, and learned a lot. There's some good mentors there. There are people that help me out. You know who you are, people. So if some of y'all see me, I appreciate all the help you gave me. Some of y'all didn't give me no help. Y'all can just keep on selling your own houses and not help nobody. And I believe in helping people, and hopefully these videos help somebody and give some positivity in this world amongst the craziness we're dealing with. So anyway, joined that brokerage, great brokerage, learned a lot there. I was a part-time agent starting out and was still working at the accounting job for 7 to 9 months before I decided to bounce. So I ended up not liking my job, leaving unexpectedly because of kind of scenarios we were in. Not really apologizing for that. I don't know. Yes, I probably should apologize. I'm not gonna apologize. Well, I'm sorry for leaving some of y'all. Some of y'all gonna see this and know, but some of y'all ain't there anymore anyway. So anyway, quit my job, left, packed it up at 10 o'clock at night while nobody was there, right? And went full-time real estate. So I've got a house. I've got a wife making more money than me. And now I just jump into real estate where I don't get a paycheck. I do get paychecks when I want them and when I work for them and when I do all my lead gen and when my houses close and when buyers decide to call me and want to use me. So some of y'all, thank y'all. Y'all are the rock stars out there that have been using me for the last 10 years. So I've been in real estate for 10 years now. Let's plug that while we're on this topic. Yeah, so I'm there. I quit my job, and at the time, the broker I was at was dishing me leads, man. I'm getting leads. I'm working them. I'm showing houses from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because I got off at 3:30, so I show houses from 4 to like 7 o'clock, making that work while I have the job. And I'm getting all these leads, and I keep getting told, join the brokerage, just quit your job, blah, 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 blah. All the things everybody tells you, right? Everybody knows everything. Have kids. Have 17 of them. That's a great idea. 3 of them's plenty. Love you. Love y'all. Y'all are sweet. Y'all are stressful some days. So anyway, quit my job, go full time, and the leads dry up like the tide out here in the water. Look at this, low tide, right? I don't even know if you can see this, but I'm gonna point it out there. You see how low that water is? You can see the ground. That's how them leads dried up, to the ground. I didn't have any leads. I got a kid, brand new kid, a house, a wife to provide for. My leads dry up. Now what? Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't even know what to say. So what do? Well, I got to make some money, people. So I decide I got to make my own money without depending on other people. So I called for sell by owners. So all you for sale by owners, people that sell your own houses, thank you. Because in all seriousness, thank you. I think it is important if you can sell your own house and save that commission, absolutely do it. I'm not going to say you shouldn't, because I would, right? So if I'm going to do it, why would I tell you not to do it? And I need to make this pizza. Give me a second. All right, hang tight. See, I'm squirreling. Can y'all see me? It's a Tostino's. Don't even hate. Combination at that. All right, let me get this thing in here. For it, it's all melted. Not melted, but I said a pizza melted. See, I ain't got correct pronunciation sometimes. Maybe y'all can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay? All right. So we got 450 degrees. How long am I supposed to put this thing on? 30. We want it a little crispy. 14 minutes. All right, I got 14 minutes to talk to y'all. Then I need to eat. I'm hungry. Don't make me hangry. Let me put a timer on. Timer. Boop. Start. 14 minutes. All right, we in business. All right, got the pizza in. Where was I at? Yeah, so the leads drop. Calling for sale by owners. Thank you for sale by owners. I think everybody should try to sell their own house. However, I am a professional real estate agent, and with all seriousness, I have been doing this for 10 years. I have sold over 600 houses at this point in my career, on multiple properties and land and investments and partners and stuff as well. So with all seriousness, thank you all for everybody that has used me, that see this video. You all are the true rock stars. Thank you for believing in me and allowing me to use my experience as a realtor to get your home sold. So anyway, went through the for sale by owner process, and a lot of times with for sale by owners, it's not easy. You get 1,000 phone calls from agents. You hit a public domain, starts with a Z, and then another one starts with REA, and those blast out all those homes, right? And so you get a gazillion phone calls. Then usually 2 to 4 weeks in it, you're tired of all the phone calls. You haven't sold your house, and you need a professional to do it. So I call those people and speak with them and see if I can't help them. And my business was built that way. So I actually train real estate agents now to have those conversations with for sale by owners and what topics to go over, and to let them know how you can help them. And if they decide to use you at a future endeavor, they will. And they'll give you that opportunity. So again, that's how I started my real estate business. And that's who I called to kind of alleviate not getting any leads. So I got tired of I didn't get tired of depending on a broker. I just didn't get them anymore. And so I run a business as well, and a team. And there's plenty of times some of these agents that have worked with me, I didn't give as many leads as I was hoping to give you. And I apologize for that, but the leads don't always come in. And when they do, some of them, I work, and some I give out. So it's just part of the equation. So anyway, That's just a quick story on that. Stopped getting leads. So now I run my own real estate team. So I was with that brokerage for about 2.5 to 3 years, right? And decided after that point in time, I wanted to go somewhere else. So a mentor of mine, acquaintance, if you will, went to another brokerage, and he went to Keller Williams Realty. So I'm going to plug Keller Williams because that is who I am with currently. Love Keller Williams, great company, nationwide, international company. There's hundreds of thousands of agents, and we all network together and help each other out around the world. He went over to Keller Williams Realty, and they had splits and whatnot and commission 100% this and that, and I was kind of intrigued why he went over there. And so I spoke to him and met up with an acquaintance of his from Orlando. You know who you are, so if you see this, thank you as well for meeting with me and having those discussions, because I am still with Keller Williams and still love it, you know. Kind of went from there. So I went from that brokerage to Keller Williams Realty. Keller Williams, they kind of teach you, just a quick history, they teach you kind of how to build your business. They don't teach you how to build your business. They give you the opportunity to build your own business, and they give you all the tools and everything you could possibly need to be successful, right? So let's just state it like that. And then it's your job to take it from there and learn along the way, and hire and fire and create a business and a team if you want to. Be a single agent. Right now I've got my wife is my TC, transaction coordinator. I have a listing manager as well, and two agents. And we do, our volume is around 30 to 40 million a year. We sell anywhere from 80 to 100 homes, right? So that's kind of a little bit of the success I've had over the last 10 years in real estate. I'm a partner in a venture, what is it called? A JV. So what is that? Joint venture. That's what I was looking for. So it's a joint venture in a title company. So naturally I use title companies. I'm a joint venture with Foundation Title. So I will plug Foundation. Thank you, Foundation. Y'all are amazing. Love working with y'all. So I'm part owner, part business partner with them. I've had the opportunity to be able to buy something like this. So just a quick tour, this is a bachelor pad right now, essentially, we'll kind of get into that too, but I got, the old, what is that, Meta 3 goggle things that my kids play VR. I'm not super organized, but yeah, I got, so we got a nice little crib here, fancy lights I just put up for nighttime. Got a nice little, what we got up here? Amplify Your Influence, that I probably hadn't read that one. Lifestyle Investor, I have read that one. That's a good one. There's my daughter's name tag and something she made for me up there. So anyway, I got this nice little condo, kids room over here. I'm gonna give you a quick little tour. You probably don't care too much, but I got these cool little lights in here and a triple bunk for my 3 kids, right? And then there's some of my Auburn stuff, hallway, yada, 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 bathroom. And then upstairs, you'll see that I have no chest of drawers. I don't have a dresser or anything up there. So when I wake up and start doing these videos, I'm just going to be raw with everybody. I want this to be as raw as it can, so you can kind of see the life of me. I'm not all put together. I squirrel all over the place. I have a million thoughts that go through my head a day. ADHD, I will blame on that. ADD, whatever. Not taking any meds for it. Don't care to, not gonna, right? I feel like that's kind of my success has been from the ability to multitask, do a lot of things, and people keep me in line. So I have a team that tells me stuff. Justin, have you done this yet? Oh yeah, I was going to do that, but I forgot to do that. It's just like, hey, I was going to wash dishes and I forgot to do that, so maybe that'll happen tomorrow. So anyway, I scroll all over the place, go from thought to thought to thought, but it also allows me to, I think, do stuff like this, to create a YouTube channel, to try to give back to you people and try to tell my story a little bit. So I think it's important to tell my story. This is going to be a venture for me in itself. I don't like being on camera that much. I don't like teaching classes and being the front audience. However, I want this to get out to hopefully the public. And if I can help one person kind of have that, that's gone through similar things I have. Maybe you've been through a divorce. Maybe your parents went through something. Like my parents have been married their entire lives. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for staying together and being amazing. Maybe you've gone through DUIs and alcohol problems. I did, so from the time I was 15, 16 years old, I tried alcohol, loved it, quite honestly. And I drank up until about 105 days ago, right? So I'm 105 days sober, I think's the timeline, somewhere right around there. Super proud of that. I'm 42 years old, so I've been drinking off and on since I was 16. So do the math, right? What is that? I'm an accountant, so I should know this. 26 years? 26 years drinking off and on. Probably destroyed my liver and kidneys and everything else. And I didn't always drink a lot. I loved going to parties. I loved drinking, playing golf. I loved going to events and drinking. I did all the drinking, right? So if you've got, some type of problem with drinking, I've got a couple buddies that I'm helping right now where they saw me get sober, and I try to keep them accountable as well for that. So we kind of have a little thing going on where we keep each other accountable as far as not drinking, and when we go out and boating and all this stuff, right? And with real estate comes a lot of drinking. Most people want to take you out to lunch and try to get you business and have some drinks and take you this and there and pay for your stuff. Well, so I'm super proud of that. 105 days sober. That's just going to keep adding up. I have no desire to continue drinking. That was a negative in my life. That was part of the reason I think Jess and I went through some stuff and are separated at the moment. But again, we're trying to mend things back together. So that's kind of part of this story as well. This is naturally why I'm here at the condo currently. I'm not at my house. So I have a 3,600 square foot house as well in Cantonment. I am currently in Gulf Breeze on the water. So this is one of our investment properties that the tenant moved out. We went through a divorce, or we're going through one. We're not officially divorced, and paperwork and stuff has not been signed. And again, we're trying to mend things back together and have this conversation. So a lot of people don't even know that. So now you know, because this is going to be public at some point in time. I don't know when I'm going to release this video, but probably within the next 24 to 48 hours. So, things, I've been very successful. I got an amazing wife, went through difficulties with alcohol, smoked for a long time off and on. My parents loved that as well. Used to dip playing baseball. Never really got into drugs, never cared to. I have an addictive personality. I was like, I do, I don't, do I? What do I? I don't know, maybe. And I do, I have an addictive personality, but the crazy thing is, like, I drank for so long, and I would come home at night and drink, 3 glasses of bourbon and a glass of wine or something. I'd be out, I say bourbon. It wasn't like 2 fingers. It was like, here's a glass. I'm drinking a glass, like a glass. So I drink 3 or 4 of those. Well, probably 2 or 3. So 2 or 3 of those, and then I might have a shot, it was just ridiculous, right? It caused nothing but trouble in my family life and going out. My wife didn't trust me doing stuff, which, was, well, it's part of my problem, right? So this is kind of why I'm here, is I'm talking through all this stuff, and I want you to know that you can get help, that things can get better. And me getting sober was better. So that 105 days in this has been after her and I had separated, right? So we've been separated for about 7 months now. We're phenomenal co-parents. We're still great friends. She still works in the business. She's still my TC. She's still a rock star. She's an amazing woman. I will state that. I love her to death. I still care about her. I always will. And hopefully we figure things out, and I feel like we will. So I will state that publicly. Anywho, so that is the life of Justin Creel, a 42-year-old male in Pensacola, Florida, that is an entrepreneur, that is excited for life, that is sober. So my sobriety is a big thing. I've got 3 beautiful kids. I've got a wife that we're working through things. I've been through a divorce. I've been arrested, been all the things. And I just want you to know to stay positive, that if you don't enjoy your life, you need to find your happiness. It's out there. Real estate was for me. It was a small investment, right? But you need a solid 3 to 5 months of funds to get into it, to be able to pay the bills, because you got to sell a house, and by the time you sell a house, and it takes 30 days to close a home. So keep that in mind if you go that route. But for me, it was like an $800 investment to get into real estate. So I just saved up the money and then focused on not spending as much to kind of have that backing so I could quit my full-time job. And luckily I had a sugar mama, and she did help a lot. She actually paid the down payment on the house. I didn't have any cash to my name, baby. Nope. But she did. So thank you, Jess. She did have the cash, so she put down the down payment on the house, which was a house we had when we got married, and then we bought a bigger house and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope Squirrel to Success, I hope y'all find this beneficial. I hope this is something you can listen to and not be bored. I know this video is extremely long. Hopefully all my videos are not nowhere near this long, but if this is something that kind of gives you a TED Talk, or gives you something like, I probably shouldn't have said that. Maybe I need to delete that. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there unless I get in trouble. Anyway, if this is a talk that helps you, I just want this to be a channel that you can come to, that you can kind of see the life of me, and maybe if it relates to you, great. If it doesn't, maybe it gives you some positivity of where to go with your life, because COVID was rough. Real estate's not always been easy. Marriage has not always always easy. Having a family is not always easy. Money, just because you make it, does not make your life any easier. It does not make you any happier. I promise. Okay. Alcohol is not the solution to everything. Some people can handle it. Some can't. I handled it for a long ass time. Right. But I'm done with it. Not happening anymore. I also go to a counselor weekly. I also have a coach for business. Okay. So if you don't have a coach, if you don't have a counselor, there's nothing wrong with that. Do it. Get it. Spend the money. Let somebody else help you professionally. I don't think I would be where I'm at today if I didn't have a counselor, if I didn't have a coach. So thank you, coach, as well in business. I've had multiple coaches. So thank all of y'all. Y'all have all been rock stars. And I'm excited for hopefully this video to get out here and help some people. So what I'm going to end up doing is uploading this. I guess that's the next thing, right? I hadn't even created the channel. So this is pre-channel. But it will be on the channel soon. Again, I hope y'all enjoy these videos. Hopefully I'm not dressed like this every day. But as I go through my routine, as I go through stuff, I'm going to be on here and let you see the family, let you see the kids, let you see some craziness. Can't have phone call conversations that are two-way here in the other party in the state of Florida, so that's illegal. So you won't be able to hear those conversations unless I get the okay from somebody. But anyway, I'm going to try to give some good content. Hopefully y'all enjoy this. If you see this and like it, please subscribe. And I'll have more content to come. And in the meantime, y'all take care, be safe out there, and God bless. See ya.